week 9 of the fantasy basketball season, and here's a few centers falling down the rankings this week. The first guy is Kelly Olynyk, the Miami Heat. So Olynyk, he's been a tricky player to own in fantasy this year. He's been hot and cold most of the season. A couple weeks he's good, then he struggles for a few weeks, and then he gets back going again. And on the season, he's ranked 120th. He's Olynyk, 10.3 points a game, 5.8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2.1 threes a game, 72% from the foul line, 43% from the field is Olynyk. And in the last couple weeks now, his rankings dropped to 164 with 9.5 points a game, 5.8 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 1 steal, only 0.3 threes a game, 83% from the foul line, and 43% from the field. So Olynyk, he's Jekyll and Hyde, like I said, but he's been a decent role player throughout his career. But now he's trying to carve out a role as a three-and-ball shooter as well as a big man. And he's been decent at it this season, but we've seen some bad games from him. And he's definitely fallen down the rankings, and fantasy owners know it as well. He's been dropped in 10% of fantasy leagues. This week is Olynyk, February 13th at Utah, 7 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. February 15th at the Clippers, 2 points, 2 rebounds, and assist. February 17th at Golden State, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 28% from the field. And then versus Sacramento, he finally had a big game, and this is what I mean with him. The inconsistencies: 22 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, a 3, 62% from the field, Olynyk. So Olynyk, maybe he'll get back on another hot streak, but the last 4 or 5 games before the 18th game at Sacramento, he was just hard to own in fantasy, and a lot of owners dropped him, and he's definitely falling down the rankings, but maybe he could rise back up. The next center falling down the rankings is Steven Adams of the New Orleans Pelicans. It's been a tough adjustment in his first season in New Orleans for Steven Adams, and now he's banged up with the ankle injury that missed the ball game last night with it. Only 8 points a game, 8.9 rebounds, 2 assists, 60% from the field, 46% from the foul line for Adams. And the pop just isn't there for Adams. The big games are few and far in between, I feel like. And then the last week, he's ranked 163, is Adams. 7.7 points a game, 7.3 rebounds, 1 steal a game, 42% from the foul line, 76% from the field. So Adams, he's not hitting the boards as good as he was with the Thunder. His scoring's down. I know the field goal percentage is still great and all, but right now he's putting up waiver wire type of numbers for Adams, for a guy who's drafted in the 8th and 9th round of most fantasy leagues. And the last few games for him haven't been anything great. February 12th at Dallas, 4 points, 4 rebounds, and assist. February 14th at Detroit, he had a good one, 13 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists. And then February 16th at Memphis, 8 points, 7 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 blocks. And then February 17th versus Portland, 2 points, 3 boards. And then he missed the 19th game on the 19th versus Phoenix. He was out with the ankle. So Willie Hernan-Gomez, if he's out there on your fantasy wire and you need a streamer, I would go out there and pick him up as long as Adams is out. And we've seen Hernan-Gomez have a couple good ball games the last few nights that Adams has been out. The next center falling down the rankings this week's Alex Len of the Washington Wizards. Len, he was going to be the starter for the Wizards, and then all of a sudden he got a couple DMPs in a row, coaches' decisions. He was a hot pickup in Week 8 of the fantasy basketball season, but now here in Week 9, there just hasn't been nothing going for Len. He got 2 DMPs. He did play 1 game, and on the season he's ranked 262. Is Len, with 6 points a game, 3.5 rebounds, 1.1 assist, 62% from the field, 58% from the foul line. So Len, he don't bring much to the table like he used to. And obviously nowadays it's a 3-point shooting league. And Len, he don't take them and he don't hit them. So that's going against them as well. The Wizards, they're a small ball, fast-paced team. And we've seen Davis Bertans finally wake up for this ball club and play good. And Alex Len now, he's on the back burner, I believe, with this team. He's only going to play 15 to 20 minutes a game at most. They got Rolo, they got Mortis Wagner, And they got, obviously, Davis Bertans as big men over there, like I mentioned. And most of those guys could shoot the 3-ball, which Len can. And Len now, the last few games for him, February 12th versus the Knicks, he played 21 minutes and started. 8 points, 4 boards, 2 blocks. Then February 14th versus Boston, he didn't play. Coach's decision. February 15th versus Houston, another DNP. And then February 17th, he got back in the rotation. But I think this Nikola Jokic, obviously a big body down low over there for Denver. You need a big man in there that's the same height as him and a big body that could get some rebounds and play. And he had a decent game in that one. 10 points, 8 rebounds, an assist, and a block in 18 minutes. But I think matchup basis, we're only going to see Len out there for Washington. And he's a center I can't trust. I recommended to drop him early in the week as well. And he's a player falling down the rankings. The next center falling down the rankings is Andre Drummond of the Cleveland Cavaliers. But Drummond, the thing with him is it's a wait-and-see approach now to see where he'll get traded to, when he will get traded to. Reports came out on Monday, and I made a separate video about it, about Drummond being benched until he's traded. And now Jared Allen taking the reins over there as the starting center for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And Drummond, he was also a buy low candidate in my buy low guys to get at the center position. So if you haven't seen any of these videos, they're all in my Week 9 playlist here for fantasy basketball, where I pretty much cover any topic that I can with the best of my ability. But anyway, Andre Drummond, now we'll see where he lands. There's rumors Toronto has been in talks with them. There's rumors the Knicks like him. And there's also rumors he might get bought out and sign with the Brooklyn Nets, which that team, I don't know how you would beat them. But anyway, on the season, Drummond, he's ranked 80th with 17.5 points a game, 13.5 rebounds, 2.6 assists, 1.6 steals, 1.2 blocks. The foul shooting we always know was a problem for him, 59% and 47% from the field. So Drummond, he's a huge double-double guy. He's going to get a block and a half a game, and that's what he's been doing. And if I'm a fantasy owner, I'm trying to buy him low because I don't think they're going to wait till March 25th here is Cleveland. Maybe a couple weeks before that to get a better offer out of a team. But right now, it looks like Toronto and maybe the Knicks are the hottest suitors in a trade with the Cavs. But the thing is, he's making $28 million this year. That's going to be tough to match up salaries for an expiring contract. So we'll see where Drummond goes. And if I'm up there in the standings and you could afford to try to buy him low this week, I definitely will. And the fifth and final center falling down the rankings this week's LaQuan Holmes of the Sacramento Kings. Holmes, he was off to a torrid start for the Kings, but now he's coming back down a little, is Holmes. And it's a contract year as well for him, so his numbers have been up there. He's been playing well, and a report came out the other day. He's not going to give the Kings a hometown discount, and why should he? This guy, he hasn't really made the big contract so far in this season, and he's having a breakout season this year. Is Holmes, ranked 51st in fantasy basketball, 12.8 points a game, 7.7 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 1.6 blocks per game. But in the last few weeks, he's definitely diving down the rankings. 120th in that time is Holmes with 13 points a game, 6 rebounds, 1.4 assists, 1.2 blocks, 61% from the field, 75% from the foul line. So Holmes now, owners there getting frustrated with him, and he's been dropped in 2% of fantasy leagues this week, so his percentage is down to 83 overall owned. And now he's banged up with the knee injury. He's questionable versus the Chicago Bulls here tonight. And Holmes, the last few games he's missed with the knee, but before that, February 9th versus Philly, 10 points, 5 rebounds, an assist and a block. February 12th versus Orlando, 10 points, 7 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals. And then February 14th versus Memphis, 13 points, 2 rebounds, an assist, a block. And then he missed the game February 15th versus Brooklyn and February 18th versus Miami. And like I mentioned, tonight at Chicago, he's questionable with the knee injury. So Holmes, he's banged up. His field goal percentage is what's keeping him up in a decent ranking so far this season. But he's not having huge games. He's having minor games and small double-doubles with like 12 points, 10 rebound type of games. He's maxing out at now the last couple of weeks. So Holmes, I said to sell him off this week. I think his better games are behind him, where teams are now zoning in on him more, that they know what he's capable of doing. But LaQuan Holmes, he's a player falling down the rankings with the struggles and the injuries the last couple weeks. So that's a few players falling down the rankings here at the center position in Week 9 of the fantasy basketball season.